welcome to another episode of UVCE Chronicles. I am Aditya Pattavardhanam, first year ECE student, and with us today we have a wonderful guest, Mr. Manjunath Gowda, who has graduated UVC in the year of 1992 from the Computer Science Department. Sir, at UVC Chronicles, we believe that nothing beats a first-hand introduction. So can you please give us a first-hand introduction of yourself?
Thank you, Aditya. Happy to be here. Just one small correction. I graduated in 1991 out of UVCE, Computer Science. Introduction, basically, I'm a Bangalore boy. Did all studies here, including my engineering UVC. Then I went to US to do my master's in computer science. After that, I worked for a startup, learned the tricks of the business. Came back to India in 97, 98 kind of stuff. Then set up companies one after the other. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. Currently I'm running my fourth startup. So I pretty much know a lot about startups and stuff. And I had a success also. One of my companies got acquired by a US multinational company for a few $1 million. This is Symantec from the US. So I have experience of getting even a companies getting acquired, everything.
Yes, sir, that's a wonderful introduction. And you clearly have a wonderful experience of being an entrepreneur. So, sir, can you tell us about a day in your college life? How did it unfold?
Oh, God. Long ago. I think, I don't know how things have changed a lot. I think at that time, especially in computer science, it was very tough actually. Getting professors for the class itself was tough. We had many classes where we had no professors. And for many classes, we had no textbooks or we couldn't afford the textbooks. So we were just running on the notes from the seniors and trying to answer the questions. So it was a small class of 25. We were just 25 people in computer science. It was the second or third year after the computer science was introduced. And we spent most of the time not really attending the classes.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that we do even today. that part hasn't changed.
One part that has probably changed is we had only one computer lab. And we used to get only 1 hour per week or 1 hour per 2 weeks to use a computer. And that was the only way we can touch computer because there was no laptops or no iPad, nothing at that time. Right. And we had some IBM XT kind of a PCs, and 1 hour, whatever you had to try in that 1 hour and get out. Right? So it was very challenging even to touch and feel the computer. Even though we were computer science graduates.
Yes, sir. I think probably the other thing that has changed is the intake from this batch. Like our batch is 120 for computer science.
Oh God! Oh.
Yes, sir.
6 times what we were approximately.
Yes, it is.
5 to 6 times. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the first time we actually have like 2 sections in CSE.
Oh, nice.
So, sir, can you tell me about one of the most memorable experiences you had during the 4 years of BTech?
Oh man, every day was like interesting actually. The only memorable day I think was we used to, in our time, the college campus recruitment started from our times. So companies started coming to our college. That was the first time we saw actually. So we were pretty excited. And I got an offer from Sonata right into the campus. So that was pretty excitement day because that was every goal of us at that time was just to get a job. There's nothing called startup. There's no entrepreneurship. Nothing was there at that time. All you wanted to is just to land a job. And especially getting a job right out of college was something of really big achievement in those days. Right? No company used to come to UVC then. Somehow they decided to come and I got into Sonata. So like my last exam was on Saturday and my first day of work was Monday. So that was pretty interesting at those times.
That's a very interesting fold of events.
Yeah.
So how was that last weekend before work? The last Sunday?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting actually because you are treated like God in the society when you get a job right out of college. Today it's all easy actually. Today it's no big deal. At that time it was like the whole area. I used to stay in Malaysia. The whole Malaysia knew that I got a job after my education, after my education. That used to be the impact then, right?
Right.
So if I'm watching in Malaysia, many people used to come and say, "Oh, I heard you got a job. Congratulations." So that was the impact. It was very interesting. I also also had an entry also pretty nice because I at that time CET we used to call CET. So I got
Right.
fifth rank in the CET and probably I was the highest rank in UVCE then.
Wow.
So that was also very interesting because the first four ranks went to uh, Suratkal and other places. So I was the only guy with highest rank being in UVC. So that was also pretty interesting for me at those times.
Wow, okay, that is. Yes, sir. I think I was going through your LinkedIn profile as well. You have an impeccable academic record.
I
Uh,
know at that time it was like that.
yes, sir. I mean, fifth rank in KSET and a high rank in UVC, and
Yeah, second rank for the I think second rank for the university.
huh,
At that time, what happened was UVC
uh,
was so highly ranked and so highly rated.
great.
Uh, so we were known throughout all the other campuses, RVC, BMS. They all knew us at that
Wow.
time. Oh, these
Okay.
guys, that was the impact we had created from UC. UC was like very, I don't know today's what the deal. At that time, it was like highly ranked university, and it was like almost impossible to get into UC, especially computer science. Remember, we were like just 20 plus people, students. It was impossible to get into it, kind of stuff. Uh, but whatever, I mean, in spite of all the impeccable academic records, what I want to tell students is don't worry too much about your ranks or marks.
Yeah. That,
I've spent 30 to 33 years in my career.
mhm.
What I see is it doesn't matter, like, as long as you get the basic concept right, and as long as you think that you're enjoying what you're studying, don't worry too much about getting ranks or highest marks, all those things. You will succeed in your career as long as you understand the basic concepts in engineering and you build on the basic concepts. Uh, so that's what matters. And you study something what you enjoy. I think those are the things which matters more than anything else, I feel.
Yeah, so that's some solid gold advice. People these days take ranks way too seriously.
Yeah, I mean, don't.
Competitors.
What I'm saying is,
Uh,
I've seen 35 years of career. I know all sorts of students in my class, right from high school and my engineering college.
right.
Many were not even ranked student, right? They were just
Uh-huh.
passed in engineering, and they are doing very well in their lives. Very well, I'm telling you.
Wow, that's
So
wonderful.
it's like if you get the basics right and if you understand how things work,
Uh,
more than the marks you get, I think you'll succeed in your life. Not well, because
uh,
don't worry too much about your career. Because I've seen people worked up a lot because they got less marks, and they would think that, oh, this is the end of my career, my life, and all those things. Not really. Everyone has done well. So if you are in UEC or any engineering college and studying the right topics, you are already taken care of. Don't worry about it. Just go to the basics, understand the basics, and enjoy the subjects. You will do well. You might get a break little later,
mhm.
but it's like a cricket match. I mean, just because you come and hit a 406 in the beginning does not mean that you'll score a lot of runs. You
Yeah.
might be like scoring very slow in the beginning, but still you might end up scoring the highest. So what impact you create, like you see T20s today, right? It's
Yeah.
an impact, not the runs you create. It's an impact in the match. So you will create impact. So that's what matters. So I just want to tell a message to everyone. Don't get too worked up on the marks you get. Just understand the subject.
Yes, sir. That's also a wonderful metaphor that you use, cricket. I think many people will now understand it better. Even with the
Yeah,
T20 World Cup going on now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, sir, I also saw that you joined for your master's degree in Oregon State University.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
how was America back in 91? Yes, and as well as your master's degree.
Yeah, I mean, today it's so easy to find the right university, the professors, what you want to excel in, your area of expertise, pick those universities, all those things. At that time, it was extremely tough. I remember still going to IAC uh, in their specified times library, and they had a book. I forget the name of the book. So I had to search all the universities there, which one was well suited, all those things. So it was very tough at that time, but I think US was a big change in my life. Uh, uh, Today, I don't know because I think the gap between India and US is not much as far as knowledge is concerned because of the internet, because of everything is available today. At that time, I think the gap was huge. So
Mhm.
in our mentality at that time, we call your parents would relate to this. Uh, uh, Getting a job was the ultimate goal of studies.
Right.
business was considered as a bad man's career. You cheat, you do this, you do that. That is business. But getting a job in a good company is your goal, kind of stuff. I didn't realize until I went to US how things work. Right? What is a startup? How does startup make money? How does startup bring change to the society? How does start all those things I learned in the US while even though I was studying MS, I pretty much did my MBA there in a way. So that sort of inspired me to re-look at my career, re-look at things, re-look at everything else. That's why I came back and started a company, all those things. If I had not gone to US, I don't think I'd have learned these things. Even today, I think people learn a lot of things when they study US, but the delta, what I say, is very less today compared to what we saw in the US when we went. C and Pascal were the languages then. So I had complex data structures. That was that. I think today it's a lot more different than what we studied then.
Yes, sir. So can you give us like a retrospect of back then, like you said, like C, Pascal were like the key players in coding, and now Python seems to take over everything.
Correct.
So what do you think? Like people learn C as a basic language for computer science?
So I'll tell you one more story. We started programming in 8085 chip in UVCE.
Okay.
So we programmed assembly language code in 8085. Chip number 8085. If I remember right, and this was in 1987 to 1991. So basically, evolution of language. Right, C is still required in few parts of the stuff today. In fact, I was reading about remember the ICC World Cup US team,
Yes,
Saurabh Netravalkar.
Yes.
I saw that he's still programming in C and DI, something like that. So C is still relevant in few places, but I think life has become easier with Python. I'll tell you why. Because a lot of things are available as libraries, which you import and you call one function, it will do everything for you. Whereas in C, when you are writing, right, you have to code everything. So what I can code in Python in a day, I probably need 20 days to code in C programming today. So you don't really, in my books, you don't. I think Python is good enough. Some people argue that Python is slower, kind of stuff. But computation power has increased so much today. You don't really need that big performance, except you're working in kind of rocket technologies, space technologies, or something like that, where they still use certain C to get that added performance. Python kind of language is good enough today. It makes your life easier. So you can concentrate on bigger things. Why worry about something which is already done and dusted?
Right. So I think I think the libraries, give the edge for Python.
Exactly. I even still today I code. I use Python. Nice. I even do AI programming and stuff like that. But yeah.
I actually even saw that you were very passionate about wildlife tourism.
Correct.
Sir, so how do you manage to integrate AI and wildlife tourism so seamlessly at Twiga.ai?
Twiga.ai. Before that, I was done Wild Trails also. Wild Trails is my company. Yes. So if you look for my name, a lot of articles on artificial intelligence and wildlife, which are published in Times of India and Deccan Herald and everything. So one of the things I did was I collected the site. I don't know whether people know Kabini or not here. There's a forest called Kabini, very famous, which is south of Bangalore, around 230 to 40 kilometers. Today, with a nice road, with a nice, beautiful highway, you can reach in 2-3 hours. So there used to be, basically, people go for tiger sightings, and also they go for a sighting called Black Panther used to be there at those times. Okay. So what happens is, excuse me. So nobody knew at that time. If I go, I can increase my chances of seeing a Black Panther, right? So they just used to go. So what I did is I collected all the sighting data, churned through some machine learning algorithms, and I found out that the chance of seeing Black Panther was much higher during new moon and full moon days. That got published. That's where I applied AI to start with. And then people started flooding the forest during new moon and full moon, actually. So that's one thing. The second thing was tiger. We do tiger census every 4 years. So we actually put camera traps everywhere in all the forests in India,
Uh-huh.
and we take the snaps of the tigers. And people, even today, people manually see the tiger and say, "Oh, okay, this is same, this is different," and that's how they count. So I wrote a machine learning algorithm. So all tigers have different stripes, like how our fingerprints are. Tiger stripes are different from one tiger to other tiger. So I wrote a machine learning algorithm for pattern recognition, face recognition. So where I used to see the patterns and recognize the tiger by the face.
Wow.
So if forest department employs that, right, it's just within a day you can actually figure out how many tigers are there, but they're not. Nevertheless, I just showed proof that how technology can be used to mundane tasks or something like this to increase efficiency and speed.
Oh, that's very interesting, sir. How I actually read that article from the Times of India about how tiger census can be done. Your article, and
Yeah,
it
there's
was.
one more way actually. I've not invested time.
Uh-huh.
So the one more way is actually my hypothesis. It is my hypothesis, not proven yet.
Uh-huh.
My hypothesis is like how humans have different language, different sound, right? You can
Right.
recognize someone by, so like if you hear my sound, like it's me. If I hear your sound, it's you. There's a
Yeah.
difference, right?
Uh-huh.
Similarly, my hypothesis is tigers have their own vocal voice, whatever, right? Different voice. So I can actually keep recorders, like, and then analyze that, and I'll tell you like how many tigers are in the forest. This is my hypothesis. I have not got time to work on it, but someday I want to work on it so that you can actually count the tigers very easily in the forest rather than going through the laborious process of doing that today. It's actually employed by counting whales in the ocean because whales have a very distinct voice. So actually, they tell you how many whales are in the ocean by just recording their voice and doing machine learning on that.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's actually very intriguing, sir. I'm mind blown.
Yeah. So there are a lot of use cases actually if you apply.
Okay, wow. I had no idea about the whale census at all. That is a
Yeah,
very interesting way of doing it. I was actually always intrigued how they'll count it in the ocean. Now I got to know.
yeah, they do all these kind of technologies actually.
Wow, that's very interesting, sir. So, sir, can you also tell me about your entire entrepreneurial journey, as how it unfolded till where it got you today?
So I joined a startup in the US,
Uh-huh.
and it was a small office, so there was no space to sit for me at that time. So they made me sit next to the accountant of the company.
Huh.
At that time, it was all phone, right? If you want to buy a product, everything, you used to get a phone call.
Right.
The emails were just introduced and all those things. So because I was sitting with accountant, I used to listen to all these things, and I realized that the way business happened, right, the money that was in the business, and I was really attracted to it. I said, "Oh man, I never ever thought in my life that business works this way." So I started interacting more with accountant, trying to understand everything, how the business works, how the price. Before that, it was zero. Like imagine 1991, I graduated. Nobody knew what business was
Right.
other than a few Tatas and Birlas kind of stuff. Uh, so we're going to US and sitting next to an accountant, understood the whole business. Then he explained everything, how the money works, how you make profit, how you put everything, how you allocate resources, how you just price the product, all those things I learned. Every non-computer, non-programming stuff I learned from him. I worked for 3 years there. I learned in 3 years I learned all these tricks. Then I decided like I should also start a company, and then I came back to India and started a company and started learning the tricks. It was very tough, but I enjoyed learning it, and it yielded good returns actually. So I think it's if you enjoy business, if you enjoy making money, if you enjoy controlling your own destiny, I think today students should think about entrepreneurship. I hope colleges teach us it. I've also taught many students on how to think as an entrepreneur. I do that now and then. People come and ask me, I teach them. But
Oh, wow.
that's a line of business I think students should consider because there is a lot of scope, a lot of wealth, and a lot of change, impact you can do as a business guy.
So, sir, can you tell me about how your life unfolds today? I asked about how it unfolded during UVC.
Mhm.
Today, as an entrepreneur, sir, how does your day unfold? Can we get a glimpse of that?
Today, it's same like as I told you, it's like a T20 game kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
We have to analyze the market regularly. How to worry about the competitors, like what are this? I do a SWOT analysis, what their strength, weakness, opportunities, threats, kind of stuff regularly. I worry about the market where I'm playing, who are my ideal customer, what do they
Uh-huh.
want, right? Until you hear from the customer's mouth, see, there are a lot of ideas in my head.
Huh.
None of them are true in the real world, right? Until you talk to the customers and try to find out what is the issue they are facing. Until that time, all your ideas are just in your head, not really in the market on the ground. So I talk to customers, find out what it is, and also what's surprising. The critical part is you cannot blindly implement what customer says, right?
Right.
So example I give to people is like, for example, right? I assume I go to a doctor and I say my left arm is paining, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't give a tablet to the left arm. Oh, take this painkiller, will go. Right? The doctor will think, oh, why you are getting left arm pain? Is it something related to heart? Is something related to something else? Right? He goes to the root cause analysis and then treats the root cause analysis. Right? Uh,
Right.
Basically, right? Something like that we also have to do as wearing a product manager. Hey, he wants that. You don't implement that. You think, why does he want that? What is he actually is going to get because of that?
Right.
Then you go to the Uber level and say, oh, this is what I should implement, so that not only he is happy, there are a lot of other customers who are looking to similar kind of feature, not the exact same, similar will also be happy. So it's like part of the product management. So basically, I think like I have to think little beyond what customer says. That's why they say a lot of dialogues are there, right? Steve Jobs says that, oh, I already know what customer wants.
Right.
NVIDIA guys said that I do what customers didn't want also. A lot of statements you hear. You should not take that right out of the meaning out of the sentence. You have to go a little higher. What they are actually trying to tell is, hey, I'm looking like a doctor. I'm working like a doctor for the customer. What they say, I understand. He says I'm paying the stomach. But actually, I go to a DNA analysis, I go X-ray analysis, MRI, all those things, and then actually find out what they really need and I implement. That's what actually they're trying to do.
It's a very interesting way of putting it, sir.
Yeah, it's very critical. That's why I think a lot of businesses win or fail. You
Right.
just exactly do what they ask, you generally end up failing. You think a little beyond and try to do something at a Uber level, you probably will succeed. I think that's one of the rules of product management. I mean, product management can go much deeper, but I'm just telling at the Uber at the top level how you have to think like a product manager to really create a product.
Yes, sir. I think that's some wonderful advice as well. So, sir, if there is any student, say in UVC, who wants to go into the world of entrepreneurship, what
Mhm.
advice would you like to give them in in
Yeah,
today's world?
one of the things I say is that uh, uh, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you don't become an entrepreneur.
Okay.
It is not something like it's like I want to become a T20 player. I just don't go and play T20. I have to be right from a kid. I've been playing kind of. So you have to do some project. Right? The way I advise is in your college days only, you should have created a product, something like that, right? You should have released it. You should have users using it. Whether they pay or not is a different story. You always do a product for solving a problem that is unmet need. I call, right. You do it not for money purpose, not for the. You just do it as a project in your college days or whenever you want to, as a project
Uh-huh.
which is used by people, right? And then you will figure out, oh, you know what? Can I make a company out of this? Facebook, right? When he was a college, he just did that as a way to connect people, right?
Right.
Everyone, many companies, right? They have done a project just to satisfy unmet need. They found consumers. They figured out how to do more and better so that more and more users come, and then they monetize. Once they
Right.
decide to monetize, then they create a company. Until then, it's a product for a set of users to solve an unmet problem, an
Right.
unsolved problem,
Okay.
right?
That's nice.
So anybody wants to become an entrepreneur, just don't become an entrepreneur next day.
Uh-huh.
Think product first. What is that? There is an unmet need in the market, right? Can I solve that?
Yeah.
If I solve that, who is my ideal customer?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody is not your customer.
Right.
Who is my ideal customer, right? How do I reach them so that they use my product,
Right. Yes, sir.
right? And
Yes.
make them use it, and see what else I can do so that they are happy about using this product.
Yeah. That's
Once that
important.
is all, Once that is all done, now there is a serious business to be made here. I think, how can I monetize this? Next thing,
Uh-huh.
right? I think that's the right way to slowly become an entrepreneur rather than suddenly deciding on next day opening a company.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a very good advice. Like go step by step. Don't run behind the monetization early stages itself.
Exactly. Don't do that. Don't do that. You have to, like, because ideas are plenty today, but
Hmm.
when you actually start executing, then you realize that is it worth it or not.
Yeah, that's very important. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Kunal Shah said that at 10x. The way he says is if you create a new product,
Huh.
it should create a 10x in the market, difference in 10x, right? For example, right, he gives example of like when there was no Uber,
Yeah.
you used to find that auto or like book a taxi or so. When the Uber came,
Right.
it was almost 10x, right? If you remove the Uber after Uber came, right, you would not like to go back to the previous condition, right?
No, we wouldn't.
Exactly. So that is the way you should create a product. If I create a product and if I pull that product out of the market, people should feel that, oh shit, I'm missing something. I want that back.
Wow, right. Yes.
Exactly. So how can you create that? How can you create that impact product is what matters. And there's people might think, oh, it's all done. Not really. You know, AI has come. AI is again bringing up a new way of. It's like when we were there, right? Internet came. We experienced when internet came. We
Right.
knew that things are going to change drastically. We saw iPhone came. We knew that things are going to change drastically. Now we are seeing AI coming. We know that things are going to be changed drastically. So you guys are in that age where AI is just popping up. Can I create a product using AI which is way different than what it is today?
Maybe in a couple more years, you pull out AI from society. I think society is gonna collapse.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like I don't know how to live. For example, if I take your phone away from you, you have no idea how to live, right?
That is true.
But
Yes.
we spent all of most of our life without a phone. We had no idea what it is, right? Until
Exactly.
2008. By that time, I was probably like 40 years, I think,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So I lived 40 years without a smartphone. But you guys, if I remove a phone, you will die.
That is true, actually. True. Sadly true. Yes, sir.
Exactly. So you guys cannot live without a phone today. Similarly, AI is going to change everything. So it's the right time for you guys to. I don't think I'm in first year. I don't have to worry. This is the
Uh-huh.
right time to think about a product, create something on your time or free time, allow users to use, help them out, see what you can do. Always a project which you have find customers.
Yes, sir. I mean, product building also is like very encouraged in college now.
Correct. But you have to
Yes,
do
sir.
in such a way that you have external customers coming to you to use it.
True. Yes, sir.
That is the most critical litmus test. Can you find customers who are not related to you,
Yeah.
want to use your product because it is solving some critical problem for them? So, for example, the first question I come and ask is who is your ideal customer for your product?
Uh-huh.
People struggle to answer that question. Everybody, that buddy, this buddy, not
Oh
true.
my.
There's only a small subset of people,
Uh-huh.
and you should know them very intimately well. Who are there and why are they using your product? People struggle even today. Even in many big companies, I've seen people struggling to answer that question. So it's, in the US and all, they are very well aware of all these things. In
Uh-huh.
India, I think it's still lacking a lot. Product management is not a big thing yet in India. People become product managers, but they have never studied product management.
Know your audience when you're before
Exactly.
releasing.
Yeah, it's very critical actually.
So, sir, one last question for the evening.
Sure.
As I told you, you have an impeccable academic record, and when we introduce you on the podcast, that is definitely a mention.
Yeah.
So
No
people are
worries.
gonna know, like, want to know how relaxed should they be throughout the 4 years of engineering, yet score well. So, what
Uh,
advice would you give them, sir?
I think you should not study to score well. You should study to understand, right?
Okay.
Scoring well is just a byproduct.
Yes, sir.
Even if you don't score well because but you study to understand, you're still good. So my reply to most of them is like, please don't study for the exams. Study because you want to understand and learn. And exam is just a thing that happens, right? Uh, it's like you go to cricket not to score runs, you just to enjoy. You just want to bat the way you want to bat. Runs comes automatically because you're so good at it. You don't actually go and say, I want to hit a four and you don't get it a four. You actually play to enjoy that, and the runs is just a byproduct,
That is
right?
very
Even
nicely said.
bowler also, right? He
Uh-huh.
bowls the best ball. Wickets is just a byproduct, right? You have seen that some great bowler is bowling it beautifully, but the other person gets a wicket, right? That does not mean that you didn't bowl well. You bowled well because you bowled so well. The other person got wickets because they are trying to hit the other person, try to hit, and they get you out because
Yes.
of the pressure. But this guy need not feel bad, right? That's why I said he was basically learning how to bowl well, how to trap the batsman so that he can't bat properly. Although that's your goal. Your goal is how do I study so I understand very well. Marks
Yes.
is just a byproduct. Marks is just a byproduct. If you get it, well and good. If you don't get it, don't sweat about it. As long as you think you understand the subject very well, because you have to run for the next 40 years with that knowledge. Marks
Yes.
is not going to help you. Marks is not going to help you for next 40 years. Your knowledge is going to help you. Your understanding is going to help you. You have to run for the next 40 to 45 years with the knowledge you are learning today.
Mhm.
So bet on the knowledge, not on the marks.
I think I must say, sir, the metaphors and the comparisons you've used for the episode today are very good. I enjoyed listening to all the metaphors that you gave, sir. Be it cricket
Thank you.
or the doctor. People understand better when you tell like that, sir. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed listening to
I'm
it.
hoping that everybody, students, whoever listen to this,
Mhm.
hopefully some impact. I can make some 0.1% impact in their lives.
Yes, sir.
But happy to share anything.
Yes, sir. I will take your advice. I'm making notes. I
Nice.
think we've reached the end of the episode. I would like to thank you for giving your time out for getting interviewed today here on UVCE Chronicles.
No, happy to do that. Thank you for the opportunity and thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Again, hope this one makes at least 0.01% impact in anybody's life. I'll be happy. Thank you, Aditya.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining in, sir.